Once again, a good crowd is here at Newcastle to see the Knights go around in such an important game against the North Queensland Cowboys, and it's a fairly colourful crowd at that. Let's take a look at the home team first up. There are no changes to their starting side. One change, though, on the bench, and they've been boosted by the inclusion of Josh Perry. He'll be there on the bench with Matt Kennedy, Price and Ennis as well. The coach is Michael Hagan. There's also a couple of changes for the North Queensland Cowboys. It comes in their back line with, once again, Matt Bowen starting the game from the bench. Ty Williams will shift back to the fullback position. He's filled for the last couple of weeks, and Rod Jensen comes off that bench and will play on the wing for Williams. The coach for the Cowboys is Graham Murray. Gidley with the kickoff. It will come down to Nathan Feen, and it is Rauhihi who will bring it back straight at Matt Parsons. He runs, and also Todd Lowry. They stop him just inside the Cowboys 20 from dummy half. Payne doing the honours. Start the game at dummy half for them with Lee McWilliams working off the bench. Those two have swapped roles throughout 2004 as well, as Norton goes to Feen, and then Luke O'Donnell working down that left-hand edge is stopped 5 metres short of the 30-metre line. Feen from dummy half now. Goes to Travis Norton, stopped there by Lowry and also Carmont. Hannay from dummy half will come across to Rauhihi. He gave a short ball onto Steve Southern, but they were on top of him when he took the pass. Kennedy and Lowry there, or rather Newton to make the tackle. And Feen's kick is a good one. He splits the gap between Robbie O'Davis, who's playing this afternoon with a fractured jaw, but it's Craig Hall who will bring it back from the right wing for the Knights.
Well, we get to see what the North Queensland Cowboys have for us in their first set of 6. The Knights showed plenty of intensity, getting numbers in the tackle. Their line speed was there. You'd expect the same type of intensity from the Cowboys here.
Kennedy comes to the left-hand side where Clint Newton is stopped just outside his 20. A mistake-free set to start the game from the Cowboys. Parsons works it up towards the 30. He'll play it back to Badiris. Woolno running at Shane Tronk, who is perhaps not the most mobile front rower in the game in the defensive line, but his work with the ball last week against Parramatta was very good. As Kurt Gidley gets the clearing kick away, it comes down to Ty Williams. A straight line from the Newcastle defence will stop him at the 30 of the Cowboys.
It's one of the Knights' trademarks is when Gidley kicks the ball, usually down there chasing one of the first men to make the tackle, and it happened on this occasion. But a lovely run by Neil Sweeney.
Got them up to the halfway line. Payne shrugs away from one defender. It comes back to Rod Jensen now through the hands of Nathan Feen. They had their first attacking chance of the game. They're 35 metres out early in the tackle count as Feen comes to Norton. He showed it to Steve Southern before he was stopped there by Mark Hughes. He'll play it back to Bowman. Now Feen at first receiver, showing it one way, giving it to Tronk, but they got up quickly. Lowry and Badiris were there, but they couldn't stop him. He got the offload away. Payne gives it to Feen, and then Badiris stops him from behind.
That's one of the key with some of these big men with the Cowboys side. Doesn't matter how far they go forward, you've just got to make sure you stop the offload. Norton puts the ball in the air way too deep. That's a let-off for Newcastle. Because they're such big men, they carry the ball. You expect them to make 10 metres every time that they're carting it forward. So you allow for that. But you've got to make sure that they don't offload the football. If they do that, all of a sudden then you can be in some trouble.
A wobbly old one. It bounces up for Nathan Feen, who gives it to Shane Tronk, who comes charging back at them. He ran straight past Danny Badiris, and it was Todd Lowry who stopped him. He's a real handful here this afternoon. Rauhihi, a ball out the back, play on is the call, and Ty Williams comes up with it luckily for the Cowboys. Here's Feen now. Goes to Travis Norton. Steve Southern is straight through a gap, and the Cowboys will get the first points here this afternoon. It was a simple play. They just came to the right-hand side, but the Knights have been brittle in defence in the last couple of sets of 6, and Steve Southern, the former lower grader from the Dragons, gets a try for the Cowboys.
Well, there's been some really good play this afternoon, and Shane Tronk again has been one of the better performers. Some good yards, play the balls, they went forward, and then all of a sudden they went wide. It was overread by Kurt Gidley. He was assuming that it was going to the outside. All of a sudden the short ball came in, and he tried to get his arms on Southern. Just a lovely hole run by Bluey Southern.
20 metres out, 10 metres in. Not a difficult one for him by his standards, although he has struggled at times in 2004. This one, though, is right over the black dots, and the Cowboys lead the Knights midway through this first half, 6 points to nil.
Records.
Mitchell Sargent is out there now in 17 for the Cowboys. Paul Rauhihi is the player who has come back to the bench for the moment. Shane Tronk, the larger of the two front rowers, is still out there as Payne now works it up towards the 40. He'll play it for Williams. Miles at first receiver. Gives it off to O'Donnell. He's stopped there by Matthew Gidley. Here's Nathan Feen. Once again, charged down. It will come to the Cowboys. No, it won't. Newcastle will come up with it. There was a chance there for Steve Southern to pick it up, but he tried to kick it. And it's Kurt Gidley who has it here for the Newcastle Knights.
Well, it's been one of their strong points, their fifth tackle options over the last few weeks, the Cowboys. But on the last couple of times they went to kick the football, there's been charge downs. The Knights really working hard on that aspect of their game.
The Knights have also gone to their bench. Matthew Kennedy now playing it. Josh Perry is out there in 18 as they go to the right-hand side. Matthew Gidley grubbering in behind them. Williams, though, has it wrapped up. Craig Hall was the man chasing through. He throws Williams over the dead ball line, and the Newcastle Knights will get it from the goal line dropout. But, of course, they shouldn't have been in this position because the clearing kick should have gone over the hands of the Knights defenders, but for the second time today it was charged down, and that has been the only flaw so far in the Cowboys game.
It's what they do with the football in this set of 6. They don't necessarily have to come up with points, but if they can get another reset or make the Cowboys work it off their own try line, start to build some pressure back in the game going their way.
Matthew Kennedy running hard towards the 20-metre line. He'll play it quickly, but Dearest, the Knights suddenly with a bit of a chance here. They feel there's an opening coming for them soon as Lowry is stopped. He'll play it 15 metres out from the Cowboys line. Carmont to Matthew Gidley. Comes back to Matt Kennedy and then O'Davis. Back to Matt Gidley. He'll grab her again for the corner here. Anthony Quinn chasing through. But Rod Jensen was happy to watch it across the touch and goal line. Anthony Quinn, I'm sure, didn't know that the kick was coming in.
No, I don't think he knew. But it's also a worrying sign for the Newcastle Knights that the brothers Matthew and Kurt Gidley aren't combining well together. They're both terrific footballers, but they look as though they're doing things on their own out there. They're not actually working together. As Shane Tronk leaves the field, as a half 5'8" combination, you've got to work together. You've got to know what's required. You've got to know who's taking charge in the middle, who's taking care of the back line. But at this stage in the game, they're both wanting to get their hands on the football and do it themselves.
Here's David Faumu out there now. He was the player who replaced Shane Tronk, and Mitchell Sargent knocks on the ball. Faumu dumped it out the back. It was there for Sargent to pick up, but he put it down. And again, the Knights will get it in good position here. Matthew Bowen is out there now. He comes on to take the place of Rod Jensen, so the pattern stays the same for Graham Murray and the Cowboys.
And it's danger now for the Newcastle Knights defensively. When they have got the football, the Cowboys, Newcastle, they've got to be red alert in the defensive line, especially around that middle of the ruck area.
Kennedy working down this left-hand side for the Knights. Bowen has gone straight onto the right wing where Jensen was, and Ty Williams stays at fullback at the moment for the Cowboys. We'll see, though, if that changes. Matthew Kennedy plays it to Badiris, and now Josh Perry dumps it out the back. Badiris basketballs it over the top to Kurt Gidley. He takes them on. Steve Southern's there to make the tackle on him with the help of Faumu. Couple of tackles left in this set of 6. Badiris runs a long way. Mark Hughes has it. There's a chance for the Knights here, and Hughes won't waste it. He gets across the line off the back of good field position. Some mistakes by the Cowboys have hurt them, and the Knights come up with the points. Mark Hughes, who has some battle scars already today, he gets their first try of the afternoon.
And on the back of a quick play of the ball and the markers overreading it. the markers went to their left and Denny Badiris come out to his left. And that just allowed him to go to the A defender, draw the men to the football. And I don't know whether it was planned or the ball just happened to go to Mark Hughes, but it was the right play.
They've hit back well. And Gidley makes no mistake with that conversion. 13 minutes left in the first half, and it's 6 each here at Energy Australia Stadium. Josh Hannay with the restart, which will come down to Robbie O'Davis. He gives it to Josh Perry, who was met there by Luke O'Donnell. It was an effective tackle as well. Mitchell Sargent was involved in it. They stopped him in a hurry. Matt Kennedy working it back to the right-hand side. He'll play it here to Badiris, who created the try for Mark Hughes. Ben Kennedy on a rampaging run, takes it up almost to the 40-metre line. That is vintage Ben Kennedy, isn't it? And now Clint Newton off his lead, takes it across the halfway line as well, and will give it to Badiris. Pressure on him. He knocked it back to George Carmont, who rounds and straightens and comes to Aaron Payne. Badiris work it to Matthew Gidley. He puts a kick in again. Neil Sweeney has crossed to play on the right wing now after starting the game on the left wing, and Matt Bowen has shuffled back to the fullback position for the Cowboys.
Well, it's a good set of 6 there by Newcastle. And of course, Ben Kennedy, what a tremendous run. Roddy Jensen getting some work done on his neck. But Kennedy, he just inspires his team when he makes charges like that. He's been a little bit quiet so far in the game.
Down.
But he is a leader.
Let's get the ball in.
He needs to do a few more of those type of charges, be inspirational into the defensive line. And Newcastle, you watch their intensity lift.
David Faumu, the back rower, wrapping quickly from the scrum wing to take it outside the Cowboys 20. Payne, dummy half, giving it to Mitchell Sargent, the former Stormfront rower. Will play it 20 short of the halfway line. Steve Southern, the try scorer for the Cowboys. A good hit up, and he's looking for a fast play the ball as well. O'Donnell bouncing off the tackle there of Ben Kennedy. Kurt Gidley around the upper body as well, and then Todd Lowry comes in to finish him off on top of the halfway line. Last tackle here, Fiends at dummy half, and it's Bowen who will get the kick away with more success than Fiends had in the last couple of occasions. It will come down to Craig Hall here. He took an age to pick it up in his own in goal, and because of that, they'll stop him 10 metres out from his own line. Todd Lowry comes back to the bench for the Knights.
It was a good kick chase here by the Cowboys team. They went down there in numbers. Now the Newcastle side looking to attack. Kurt Gidley got to run the football a little bit more, but do it on the right occasions after a quick play of the ball. There's been opportunities for him to attack the edges, and there's been opportunities in the middle of the park. The Cowboys, some of their big men have been getting tired. This is the type in the game. He needs to try and isolate them and take them on.
David Faumu caught inside the 10 down that left-hand edge of the Cowboys' defensive line this time, and the Knights will come on the attack again here. The back-to-back tries to hit the lead as Badiris works it away to Andrew Price, who was picked up and taken to the ground at the 30-metre line. Badiris again to Matthew Gidley. It comes to Josh Perry. He was wrapped up there by Travis Norton, and who then came over the top of him and gave away a penalty 25 metres out.
Yeah, I agree. But you have pushed him in the back, which has caused him to play the ball poorly. Back here.
Danny Badiris ignores the chance for 2 points and takes the quick tap here as Matt Kennedy will play at 15 out. He tries to force it out the back, but there was a hand in there, says the referee. He now wants to have a word.
His hand was in there, fishing for the ball all the time. The tackle was pretty much complete, and he's stolen the ball. Okay, it's a couple of penalties back-to-back that are going to hurt you guys, so let's sort it out, Travis.
Another word from Jason Robinson, and again a quick tap from Danny Badiris, but it will have to come back.
I haven't played time back on, guys. Wait there.
Been given by the referee. Now we're underway after the full start, and it's Perry who takes it to within 5 metres of the Cowboys line. Badiris gives a short ball to Matthew Gidley. It was a Brad Fittler play. He just put the body on the line, said stop me if you can, and they couldn't.
Well, you need your experienced players to step up in tight situations. And Badiris and Gidley have done it on this occasion. You mentioned it. Brad Fittler does it for the Roosters. And on this occasion, it's Matt Gidley for the Newcastle Knights. Just steaming onto a ball. But there were back-to-back penalties. Kennedy taking it forward. O'Donnell and McWilliams hands on the football, looking as though they're going to go a short side, and Badiris just scooting out. Gidley just hitting it at pace.
And he's given his brother, Kurt, a chance to convert from right beside the post once again. A 6-point deficit has become a 6-point lead here in Newcastle. The Knights are desperate to hang on here. They race back to the line and come up again. Here's Anthony Quinn. He stops Paul Bowman this time. And it's Fiend on the 5th play, who goes to Norton. Now Rauhihi looking for the offload. It should be play on. The ball went backwards and then came back to Rauhihi off Matt Gidley. But Jason Robinson will say it was a knock on.
Geez, that's good defence by the Newcastle side. They're under pressure and they work so hard for one another. They were caught short, but yet they moved across. They knew that Rauhihi was trying to offload the ball. They went high, they knocked it out. There was some benefit of the doubt there. And Hagan, he would have been impressed with the way his team defended that set of 6.
Let's get in.
The benefit certainly went to the Newcastle Knights, and having a look at that replay, it was hard to see how the ball was knocked on by Paul Rauhihi. It certainly went backwards initially off the legs of Matt Gidley. It came back to Rauhihi, and now Kurt Gidley gets involved. A little bit of a push and shove with his opposite number, Nathan Fiend.
Oh, the bantamweights, they would have been at it.
Let them loose, they say here in Newcastle. We've got just 3.5 minutes left in this first half. Here's Craig Hall. He almost ended up in a dangerous position. And now, even after stopping it, Luke O'Donnell will be called out by the referee.
I want them guys, not you. Luke.
The first one was Christian Gilly trying to pass in there.
So, mate, your guy roughed it up in the tackle as well. Luke's lifted him past the horizontal. It's just a penalty on this occasion. Wait, yeah.
Let's take a look at it again as Craig Hall brings it forward. Mitchell Sargent and Luke O'Donnell were both in. Now, they both realised he was going to end up in an awkward position. And I must say, Craig Hall launched himself and put himself off the ground.
I'm okay with that. I am okay with that.
The whistle,
it
Danny.
looked as though it was going to get out of control. But it was good work, actually, by the players as well. They pulled out. And Craig Hall, the way he landed in, or went into the tackle, I'm sorry.
That was the only reason the tackle actually ended up as a dangerous one. And it could have easily been play on. Here's Badiris now from dummy half, taking it forward. They've got tackles up their sleeve here, playing a man short. They would love to score here to open up this advantage while Clint Newton is still off the field. Parsons is back out there, taking it in that huge right paw of his. Kurt Gidley to Perry, over the top to Anthony Quinn. He'll look for the line and will find it. The Newcastle Knights score 12 on 13, and they make it 16 points to 6.
And some great hands there by the Newcastle Knights. It's been very effective for the Cowboys, the offloading ability. But it was their ability with 12 men. And Matty Parsons getting the offload happening, turning the ball, or looking to go back through the inside. Matt Gidley off the ground, onto Parsons. He drags 3 in. Lovely little short ball there by Kurt Gidley onto Perry. And Perry, the cutout ball to Quinn. Quinn backs his strength over Bowen. That's a tremendous effort. Dragging a couple of defenders in. And then the offloading skills. They do this at training where they've got plenty of numbers. Bowen does terrifically well to hold him up, but he forces his way out of the tackle, Anthony Quinn.
Led to the Knights having tackles up their sleeve in a good position. What a kick from Kurt Gidley from the sideline. A minute out from half-time, he makes the 12-point ball game. They're still down a man. I think the players did exactly the right thing. They pulled out of it after realising Craig Hall had put himself in that dangerous position.
Look, I've got no problem with him contributing to the way that the tackle happened, but I have got a problem if the referee didn't penalise.
Here's Perry playing it as it comes to Parsons. Here's Kurt Gidley. One more before the break. would really break the game wide open here. Matt Gidley will put the kick in. O'Davis is chasing, but the kick will beat everybody over the sideline. And that will do us for first half action. And didn't we see some to finish the first 40 minutes? Clint Newton sent to the sin bin. The Cowboys fail to score with a one-man advantage. The Knights go down the other end of the field and score through Anthony Quinn. And it's 18 points to 6 here at the break. Josh Hannay gets us back underway. It's a very gloomy sky we play under here in Newcastle this afternoon. And the lights are already on here as Josh Perry is tackled by Luke O'Donnell. Badiris comes to the right-hand side. The Knights with a 12-point lead. An important stat for you North Queensland Cowboys fans is that only once in their last 16 games, the last season and a half when they've trailed at halftime, have they come from behind to win. They need to reverse that trend here today if they are to move into the top 8. 4.5 minutes remaining for Newton, who is still in the sin bin. As Parsons will play it here at the halfway line on the last tackle. Matt Gidley it is who gets the kick away. Neil Sweeney will go back playing on that right wing now after starting the game on the left wing for the Cowboys.
And I think that's the area that the Knights want to keep kicking to, Neil Sweeney. They've put the ball behind him a number of times this afternoon already. He's handled everything that's been thrown at him. But they probably feel he's the least dangerous of the back three for this Cowboys outfit.
Get your hand out.
Stripping penalty here against the Knights. Give the Cowboys the chance to pick up some easy meters. Badiris in there making the tackle, and Josh Perry. A little bit of a rake at the football as it came down.
But the first 20 minutes are so important for both these outfits in the context of their season.
Here's Rauhihi. They would like him to play as many minutes as possible in this second half. They seem to be a much better team when he's out there. McWilliams now takes it inside the Newcastle 40. He'll play it back to David Miles, who goes to Fiend. Got O'Donnell cutting back towards the play the ball area. He run into Andrew Price. He's just outside the Knights 30. McWilliams this time comes to Miles on the left. A short ball to Rauhihi. There to make the tackle with Carmont and Matt Gidley, but he's still got it away. Came back to David Faumu, who will play it to McWilliams. Fiend taking them on himself. Tackled, looking for a fast play the ball. He gets one away. McWilliams goes to Norton. A chance here for the Cowboys. Bowen puts a kick in. Knocked down by Kurt Gidley.
He stuck his arm out, played at it.
He knocked it on. And the Cowboys will get 6 more tackles here, just 10 metres out from the Knights line.
Well, again, good scramble by the Newcastle Knights. And Denny Badiris was on the right side of the field as he plays at the football there. Kurt Gidley, correct decision by the referee. He realised there was a big hole at the back of the play the ball. He absolutely sprinted across the line.
Get in. Out.
Got himself in a position in case the Cowboys had turned the ball back inside Fiend from the scrum.
He almost got tangled up with the referee. It almost worked for the halfback. As now Rauhihi is on top of the line. He gets to the line but pushed back. He was there for a moment, but only a moment. Miles comes to Matt Bowen. The Knights come up quickly with Robbie O'Davis playing on the right wing at the moment for Newcastle. Miles will play it 8 metres out. Here's McWilliams. It comes to Fiend. Again, they come up quickly. Norton got away from Kurt Gidley. Then he was stopped, though, in the middle of the park by Perry and Parsons. McWilliams to Fiend. Players in motion for the Cowboys. David Faumu puts a shuffle on. He gives it to Ty Williams, who for the corner will reach out and score for North Queensland. A good play on the left-hand side. They put a decoy man out in front of the ball, and they score first against this 12-man Newcastle lineup.
Well, we said how important the first 20 minutes was going to be, and they were one man down, Newcastle, and they went to the extremities straight away, the Cowboys, looking to go wide. They worked the numbers.
Just a metre in from the sideline. He strikes it pretty well, but it hooks away to the right-hand side. And the gap stays at 8. Sweeney takes the ball from the kickoff and gives it off to Mitchell Sargent, who brings it back out to be tackled there by Parsons and also Clint Newton, who is back out there now for Newcastle. McWilliams to Rauhihi. There's a second-man ball for Travis Norton, who then cuts one out himself. Came away to Hannay. He popped it back on the inside to Travis Norton, who was rounded up by George Carmont, and Danny Medeiros getting through a heap of work now. McWilliams to Miles. Back on the inside for Rauhihi, who came to Josh Perry and then raised that left forearm up around the chest region of Perry. Sargent will play it here, 5 short of the halfway line. McWilliams gives it to Fiend, who drives it low once again. He takes the chance to pick up some extra metres, but he also gives the Knights chasers looking for a chance and a chance to charge it down with the way he kicks with that low trajectory, doesn't he?
He takes plenty of time too with his kick. And you mentioned it. The low trajectory kick, the Knights, they can get chasers through. It's also a risk when you're putting pressure on the kicker that the bounce mightn't go your way. Opposition team gets another set of 6.
Here's Carmont. A loose ball which forces him to be tackled there by Rauhihi just outside the Knights 30 as Andrew Price brings it back away from the sideline on the last play. And I'll kick from a better position now through Matt Gidley. No real pressure on him, and he picks out Neil Sweeney on the full, who will bring it back to the 30-metre line and perhaps beyond here for the Cowboys.
Well, they need to find space on their kicking game, Newcastle. Just easy metres to be chewed up when they get the ball on the full. He's done a lot more kicking this afternoon, Matt Gidley, more so than his brother.
Sargent running in behind Matt Bowen. Play on is the call. In fact, it was David Fayuma who ran the decoy line. It looked to be a simple case of obstruction there. The Cowboys get a break as Fiend gives it to Rauhihi. A lovely ball out the back. Here's Bowen. A race with O'Davis, who had him measured up and stops him 15 metres away from the Knights line. Norton goes to Fiend. Here's Miles looking for an option. He fends away from the tackle of Price. He's stopped by Medeiros, who saves another try. McWilliams to Fiend on the last play. Bowen again, grubbers off the legs of Kennedy. It should be 6 more tackles. It's still the last. Bowman gives it to Norton, who will look for the line and puts it down on top of it.
We'll just check that. So grounded? Yes, please, mate. Hold on. Yes, please. Wait till I finish with the video ref, please, mate. No. It was his running line. He didn't play at it. It was just his line of running. No.
Here it is again after Jason Robinson has a word to players from both sides, both Danny Medeiros and Paul Rauhihi. Well, Mick Stone is our video referee. He's seen every angle possible, and it is a try. Travis Norton gets a very important 4-pointer for the North Queensland Cowboys. We'll see if Hannay can get them too closer. He can, and suddenly it's a 2-point ball game. 18-16 here. The Knights still in front.
Now in the Newcastle camp, a couple of injury problems. Ben Kennedy has a neck problem, but he's still out there. And Adam Woolnow has an AC joint problem as well. Medeiros has a sore back, so there's a fair few injuries out there. But Hagan just wants the first 20 minutes of this half like the last 20 minutes of that first half.
They haven't given away a penalty here, but they've lost the ball. Lee McWilliams might have been unlucky there to have that one go against him. Danny Medeiros looking up at the referee would have been concerned for a moment because his hand was there around the football.
Seconds, I want you guys
came
down
loose.
first. Seconds down.
And it will come back to the Knights off the scrum win. Just outside the Cowboys 20 is Kurt Gidley. Gives it to brother Matt, who puts the shuffle on. He almost got away there from David Miles, who slid across and made the tackle. Carmont from dummy half runs towards Ty Williams and also David Fayumu. They stop him 5 metres away. Here's Parsons. standing in the tackle. He loses the ball and it comes back to the Cowboys.
Well, you knew what he was trying to do. Matty Parsons, try and drag in the defenders, get an offload happening, and for the Knights to shift it wide. They were spread. They knew it was coming, but the Cowboys got themselves in a position to get the football.
McWilliams to Nathan Feen. Just a duck under the tackle there of Matt Kennedy. He'll play it 30 out from his own line as McWilliams goes from dummy half to be picked off there by Matt Parsons. Bowen from dummy half, a real danger, gets past Perry. He knew the desperation of the situation and threw an arm out, but Bowen still beat him. He was chopped down in a good tackle by Clint Newton. Last play here for the Cowboys, and it comes to Paul Rauhihi. It's still the last play. Miles realises it now and puts a kick in, but the Cowboys almost lost the plot on the last tackle.
Well, it's been one of their weaknesses this afternoon, their fifth tackle options. Plenty of charge downs. They knew they had to get to the kick for Umu. Out the back to Miles. Miles is looking around at the referee, gets a left foot kick in. And Robbie O'Davis coming up with the football in good position. They've got to lift the tempo, Newcastle.
Here's Anthony Quinn taking it across the halfway line, doing exactly that. Stopped there by Faumu. He'll play it quickly to Kurt Gidley. They've got the Cowboys going backwards in defence. A pass over the top to Craig Hall. He was stopped by Williams. It's play on for the moment, and it's the last tackle here for Newcastle. Come on to Matt Gidley. He gives it to Kurt. He grubbers in behind them. Some pressure here on Neil Sweeney, who gets to the football and keeps it in the field of play.
Oh, great work by Sweeney. They've tested him all afternoon. He realised he had to come in field. He put his body on the line, showed terrific courage. And now the Cowboys once more have to work at 90 metres upfield.
Mitchell Sargent picks up 10 of those metres. He plays it back to McWilliams. Rauhihi coming quickly. Adam Woolnough is back out there now for Newcastle as Michael Hagan makes another change. Matt Parsons is the man who comes back to the bench for the time being. Here's Feen as they shift it to the left-hand side. He's wrapped up there by Badiris, whose tackle count continues to climb for Newcastle. And now Lee McWilliams is the man who has to get the kick away again. Disorganisation amongst the Cowboys in those last couple of plays, as Quinn brings it almost back to the halfway line.
Well, Nathan Foon has to take control out there for the Cowboys. He's got to tell them where they've got to go, the forwards, and he's got to be the one to get the football on fourth or fifth play. They've got to get a better kicking game in. They just can't keep giving the ball back from the Knights in good field position.
The Cowboys have done well to get themselves back into the game. They need to keep the momentum going. They can't afford for the Knights to hit back and once again run away from them as Kurt Gidley will play it here. Comes to Danny Badiris. He's stopped there by Norton and also Shane Tronk, who's back on deck for the Cowboys. Last tackle, Kurt Gidley. Charge down. Luke O'Donnell is there and comes up with it. Gives it to David Miles. He's running away from Carmont. O'Davis is chasing, but they won't gather him in. And David Miles puts the Cowboys in the lead.
And that's their third try in 15 minutes of the second half, and the Cowboys have hit back in the best possible way. We're talking about their fifth tackle options. And this time Newcastle, the kick getting charged down. Luke O'Donnell has been a solid performer for the Cowboys this afternoon, coming up with the football and then giving it to the quicker man in David Miles. Good work by O'Donnell. He put the pressure on Kurt Gidley. He took his time to kick the football. O'Donnell gets the football onto Miles. Too much speed for Carmont, and O'Davis scores underneath the sticks.
And now from right in front, Josh Hannay can make it 22 points to 18. What a turnaround since half-time here. Kurt Gidley with the kickoff. Comes down to Nathan Feen. He'll give it to Shane Tronk. They did well off the kickoff to stop him. Just 5 metres out from his own line, and now Sweeney will work it from dummy half.
And we'll see how much character the Knights have got in their outfit at the moment, because they were cruising. The Cowboys come with the intention of playing for the full 80 minutes. They knew it was going to be a tight game. But mentally, did the Knights switch off when they had that 12-point lead? They've got to get themselves back into the contest now, and it's hard if they have switched off. Just not like a light switch, but they've still got 22.5 minutes to go to be able to prove to themselves that they deserve to be in the top 8.
Play the ball from McWilliams.
Sloppy.
Comes back, and here it is through Fiend. He gets the kick away. It was okay for Mine to play the ball as it's picked up by Anthony Quinn, the kick. And he runs up to Luke O'Donnell, who stopped him with a solid tackle. He's got a couple of very impressive minutes as Luke O'Donnell, the former Tiger, who is now an important part of this Cowboys pack, and he'll need to be, because once again Graham Murray has taken the option of taking Paul Rauhihi from the field with this 4-point lead midway through the second half.
Well, the Knights at the moment are looking to do things one out, and they're looking for that individual bit of brilliance. Whereas the Cowboys, when they've got the football, are playing as a team. They're working for one another. That's what the Knights have to do. They've got to take a leaf out of the Cowboys' book.
Matt Gidley putting the kick in. Quinn is chasing, but it will beat him across the sideline.
Out.
From the scrum win, it's Fiend who gives it to Bowman. Ben Kennedy was there quickly with the other forwards and then works him over as well, slowing the play the ball down. Bowman didn't think too much about the use of the leg there, trying to pin him to the ground as he was getting back to his feet. Steve Southern is also back out there here for the Cowboys as Payne puts it from dummy half to Luke O'Donnell, who makes a good run up the middle of the park. We play it just short of the 30-metre line as Bowen gets to dummy half. What a danger he's going to be for Newcastle. Here's Lee McWilliams. He had the ball stripped, but play on is the call. Jason Robinson had a very good view on it and says it was in the act of making the tackle.
Yeah, they didn't need that, the Cowboys. But the Knights, they get it back in field position. Kennedy running the football, bouncing out of a couple of tackles.
He'll play it back to Badiris, who gives it to Kurt Gidley. Matthew Gidley on to Robbie O'Davis, and they stop him. 28 out from this Cowboys line. Quint Newton, who's been in the bin for 10 minutes either side of half-time. It worked out in different ways for both sides. As Matthew Gidley gives it to Ben Kennedy. It comes to Nathan Fiend, pops it over the top to Anthony Quinn. He in turn gives it back to Robbie O'Davis, and then he's stopped by Paul Bowman. 15 out from the Cowboys line. O'Davis has been rattled in the tackle as Matthew Gidley comes to Matt Kennedy. He's stopped there by O'Donnell and also Tronk. Last play here. Kurt Gidley standing close at first receiver, grubbering. They're chasing. Carmont was there, so was Lowry. It still might be play on. Kurt Gidley picked it up and put it down. But we'll wait and see what they make of it.
Check everything after the kick, please, Tony.
We're checking everything.
With good reason. Let's take a look at it once again as Kurt Gidley took it to the line. They were chasing through. Lowry was there. So was George Carmont. He had a play. It came off the chest there of Williams. Was there a Newcastle hand in it, forcing it onto Williams? And there is Kurt Gidley picking it up and putting it over the line. It's play on, it seems, to that point at least.
I think it hits a Newcastle leg, then back onto a Cowboy, then into the hands. You see him play at the football here. Comes off Ty Williams there. We see the ball come off Williams's leg. Onto Michael Innes. Back onto Ty Williams. Back over to Kurt Gidley.
I think it's all okay. We think green lights. So does the video ref. We're tied up again here in Newcastle. 22 plays 22. Gidley eyes the football. He strikes it well. It's hooking, but it stays inside the left-hand uprights. The Knights have edged ahead once again.
There's a little bit of history between Rauhihi and Josh Perry, but the Knights have to continue to play football. The last set of 6, they're all bunched around the football. They can't take any advantage of any offload. They've got to keep their
Perry
width.
as he runs. Sorry, Laurie and Rauhihi. I couldn't help myself. I could see him winding up, and Rauhihi was looking for him as well.
I know my place, Warren.
Here's Kennedy. Oh, I've got right over the top of you again. You'll have athlete scout by the end of the season.
Bring it on.
Here's Medeiros from dummy half as they work it inside the Cowboys 30. Ennis gives it to Ben Kennedy. He charges at Southern, gets a ball away, but it wasn't a good pass. He gives it straight back to the Cowboys.
Well, they went to sleep on that occasion, the Newcastle team. Kennedy took the ball forward. You know he's got a right arm offload. Don't worry about hanging back for the next play. Support the man with the football.
Sweeney will play it back to Payne. Tronk runs at them and picks up some good meters once again. A very impressive and improving front rower is Shane Tronk. Here's Bowen getting himself involved midfield. He ducks under a tackle by Matt Gidley. Still going. He comes to Carmont, who stops him. 26 out from the Newcastle line. He'll play it back to Hannay. Fiend at first receiver. Needs a good option. An end-over-end kick. Davis takes it on the full. In the field of play. He'll give it to Kurt Gidley. There's a chance for a counter-attack straight away before Fiend wraps up Kurt Gidley. And the two of them come to blows now. Gidley lashed out on the tackle. This will be interesting to see which way it goes. They're still going at it.
Nathan, just take your guys back. Just take your guys back. Just go back. Just go back.
Kurt Gidley in danger here of being penalised while in possession.
About nothing happening, Sandy. 5 sevens.
He wants to talk to the halfbacks. Here it is again.
I go with my first look at it. I'm going with my first look at it. Where's your 7?
You can't give a match.
Hey. What I said.
Mate, look how tight that is. You give that penalty, that's
First things first, I had it on the whistle. Don't need your help. Back away. Get him out of here. After the tackle's made, you've dropped on him with the forearm. Penalties against you.
How can that happen like that?
Ask him if he's running through the forearm. Back you go.
Danny Medeiros said it will be a big call, and that's exactly right. Pretty much right in front of the post. 3 of 4 today. No kick has been as important as this one. He hits it well. 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in Newcastle.
And Newcastle are playing with the football to hang on, whereas the Cowboys are playing to score points.
Jensen is back out there. He flops it back for Aaron Payne, who's stopped by Josh Perry. Bowen spending a lot of time now at dummy half. Miles gives it to Rauhihi. A good offload. It comes back to Luke O'Donnell. He links up with Rod Jensen. He gives it to Bowen. Now there's trouble. Fiend looking for one more. Norton not tackled by Quinn. Still standing there. Eventually he stopped. 30 metres out from the Newcastle line.
Great tackle by Anthony Quinn. Had to be made.
Play 5 it is. Back on the inside, Williams. The pass goes to ground. Picked up here by Paul Bowman. Is there a chance on the last play for a field goal?
Well, if they're thinking that's what they're going to do, Henay's at the back.
He'll be 35 metres out when he takes it. He snaps it. The kick looks good. It hits the upright and goes under the crossbar. It hit the crossbar and went underneath.
Well, he struck it nicely. He struck it well. It was straight and didn't have the legs. Davis was hoping it wasn't going to get there. Up off the upright. And the Knights are still in play.
The direction was good. Floating into a slight nor'wester. It hit the underside of the crossbar and Robbie O'Davis couldn't believe his eyes. Perry will play it for Newcastle. The pass to Matt Gidley was a flat one once again.
Oh, I don't like their field position on 5th tackle near a sideline.
Some pressure here on Kurt Gidley. He chips over the top. It bounces up for Robbie O'Davis. Back to Kurt Gidley. He comes to Bowen. He fires a wild pass off the toe of Michael Ennis. Play on it is still. The Cowboys get it, and they'll get a penalty as well.
When you're 17, kick the ball. Hold on. when you've kicked your 17-second kick, you're in front of it.
Are you sure you have more?
It's a risky play by the Knights.
Decision's made, and I'm not taking it back.
The chip kick on last play. I'm pretty confident the referee has got the decision right.
Here it is again. Ennis towed the ball forward, and Badiris was in front of him. According to the referee, he was offside and inside the 10-metre circle as the ball was played at by the Cowboys.
Well, they've got to have a good set of 6 here. They can't let the Cowboys close to their line.
Here's Rauhihi taking it forward to Bowen. There's a danger to go 60 metres and score himself. He's stopped there by Badiris. He lost the ball. Play on. The Knights had it. Clint Newton had it for a moment. And it will come to Newcastle.
And they're entitled to make the tackle. You've got to hold the ball.
Newcastle will have it 48 metres out from the Cowboys line. They will have one play here to try and come down the field and score in the dying seconds. Here's Matt Gidley weaving in the traffic. We'll see what they set it for.
Well, they would have practiced this at some stage throughout the week. They would have realised it was going down to the back end. And it's how they perfect it now that matters.
Badiris from dummy half. He comes wide to George Carmont. He turns it back on the inside for Craig Hall. They come to the sideline, but there are tackles up their sleeve to work it back midfield. Badiris goes to Clint Newton, who knows what his role is. Just take it towards the post. Ben Kennedy taking it to the line. They beat Brisbane with a field goal. Kurt Gidley was the man who came up with a one-pointer. Kennedy passes after the referee calls held, and it's a penalty to the Cowboys. Kennedy can't believe it.
I've called held before he's offloaded, and I had no option.
Kennedy was standing there for an age before he passed it. The call definitely came before he passed it. It was a good call.
Look, I've got no problem with him calling it, but Kennedy's still moving in the tackle. He's still fighting, and I've seen tackles like that before continue.
And now the Cowboys work it away from their own end. Here's Hanno coming midfield. 30 seconds left in the game.
Well, we saw a game last night that was won with 20 seconds to go. Will it be the same this afternoon?
If the Cowboys want to win it in regulation time, Bowen's the man. Here he is from dummy half. They needed a little chip kick from Fiend for Bowen to chase through on. He'll play it here, and we are destined, it seems, for golden point time. What a day to have it, with the Knights and the Cowboys battling for a place in the top 8, going to the golden point. But Badiris is still furious with the referee. And now Gidley with the restart. Both teams get 2 additional interchanges for the next 10 minutes if it goes that long. Andrew Price. It looked to be a high tackle on Sargent to start the golden point time. Here's Rauhihi. The Knights muscling up in defence, trying to force a mistake. Payne goes to Luke O'Donnell. He's had a very good game, the second rower. Really coming into his own as a Cowboy. Here's Sargent. Both teams have 3 changes each. They'd used 11 up in regulation time as Norton works it up towards the 30-metre line. Last play here for the Cowboys. They need a good kick, and Fiend will get it away. No problems for them in the first set of 6. They need a good chase here because Hall will bring it back over the 40-metre line for the Knights.
Great work by Craig Hall. Good defensive set of 6 by the Knights. They expanded a lot of energy in that set of 6 there forwards. Their outside men have to come in and get involved.
Parsons taking it to them and beyond the defensive line. He'll play it 37 out. Here's Badiris. Perry carts it down. He lost the ball. It came loose, and play on is the call.
I'm sure that was stolen.
Perry had the ball behind him, looking for an offload perhaps. It came loose. The Knights' hands went to the air. It's the Cowboys, though, who work it away from their own end. They go wide to Hannay. He's tackled by Carmont. And he's been hurt as well in the tackle here. It was a strong tackle by George Carmont. Hannay has been left on the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we do ask for your patience and cooperation as you depart into the Australia Stadium.
Jason Robinson, it seems, reluctant to go to the video referee to take a look at it. There's the tackle. He had his forearm up trying to fend away from the Carmont tackle. He might have got one around the chops.
You've heard the report, okay? Penalties against it for the high tackle. The reason he hasn't played out the advantage of this one. Danny, you've heard the report.
Danny Badiris vents his frustration at the referee, but he isn't the man who implements the interpretations as it now stands. You can say, if you're a Newcastle fan, that Josh Hannay laid down to get the penalty. But what you also can say is that George Carmont definitely made contact with the head of Josh Hannay. We saw that on the replay.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. But the Knights, they can't focus about the penalty. They've got to focus on the job at hand, and that is to make every tackle line up. If there's pressure to be placed upon a drop goal attempt, they've got to do it.
Here's Fiend turning it back on the inside for Rod Jensen. He rounds in behind them, and he's 20 metres out. 3 tackles gone, 3 left in this set of 6. Rauhihi takes it towards the post. He's right in front of the uprights. They go back to Hannay for the second time. He kicks it, and it's wide. He missed to the left-hand side. He had a golden chance in golden point time to win it, and missed to the left. The Knights hang on. They will say that is justice.
And a player offside, Danny.
And Danny Badiris is still blowing up at the referee as we watch Hannay miss to the left-hand side.
Well, he had all the time in the world, Josh Hannay. But it was also good work by the markers. They tried to get out.
Kennedy taking it forward. With every ounce of energy he's got left, Badiris a short pass for Lowry. They've done well. They're back to the halfway line. 2 minutes left in this first period of golden point time. Parsons will play it there. 4 gone. McWilliams hangs on. He ran the risk of giving away a penalty. Badiris almost through a hole. They're 30 metres out. Here's Kurt Gidley. He'll have a crack. This one's wide as well.
Well, they'll get the last opportunity, the Cowboys, you would expect. Just on 1:40 to go, and a long-range field goal might be the option, or are they just looking to wind the clock down? They've got to come 80.
Sargent plays it for McWilliams. Rauhihi running at them. Another good charge. He'll play it 8 metres short of the halfway line. Comes back to Fiend. Here's Jensen stepping in between defenders. There's support up the middle. He went away from Fiend, and Quinn made the tackle. Bowen goes quickly to his left-hand side. Fiend will grab her in behind them. It wasn't what they were looking for. Hall will take it across the dead ball line. There's 50 seconds left in this first period, and they will get it back. And there will be another attempt, you would think, in this next set of 6 at field goal.
Well, he played that well, Nathan Fiend. But one of the things the Knights have to be aware of, it's going to come early. Do they put Josh Hannay back, attempt it straight off the first tackle, and go for a 45-metre, 50-metre dropout, or do they actually go one play?
30 seconds left. The dropout is a good one. It comes down to Fiend. Matt Bowen is looking at it. He has a crack. It's short and wide and comes down to the Newcastle Knights. So Davis will bring it back with 12 seconds left. They'll have one more tackle here before the break. Quinn gets away from Sweeney's tackle. McWilliams hanging on for grim life. They'll get one more tackle, but Badiris wasn't ready for it. Here's Gidley. He tries to chip over the top. Charge down. O'Donnell picks it up for the line, for the game, and they save the try. Romeo Davis came to stop him. It was play on. O'Donnell went within 3
metres of winning it for the Cowboys.
Well, he's rolled the dice, Kurt Gidley. He went for the little chip kick on the siren. O'Donnell, who has been the best player on the field this afternoon, picks it up, and Carmont and O'Davis come from nowhere.
We'll see what sort of job North Queensland do here. Hannay, not a deep one. It will come down to Kennedy, who knocked it on. Picked up by Fiend. He gives it to Norton. Can you believe the Cowboys win like that? Oh, what a game. The North Queensland Cowboys win off a knock-on from Ben Kennedy. It's almost too cruel for words. He will leave the club at the end of the season, and he can't believe what has just happened here in Newcastle. It was a shallow kickoff. It put pressure on the big man to take it on the full. It came back to the Cowboys, and they win it off the kickoff from the second period of Golden Point time.
Well, Kennedy, he makes an attempt at the football. It held in the breeze. He thought he was under it. Fiend does a terrific job to pick it up on the run. And Norton, leading the club in support, scores the try, and the Cowboys are jubilant. They come from everywhere.
In one of the more amazing finishes to a game we've seen in the NRL. 28 to North Queensland, 24 to the Newcastle Knights.
This has been a production of Fox Sports in partnership with the National Rugby League.